Look, I'm coming to you with an urgent message. Every single one of our followers, our fans, I gotta let you know something.
Oh, man, it's happening too fast. Look, people don't want you to be notified of what we're doing here. They don't want you to be notified when we go live. And then now you get sad because you didn't realize we were live and you missed all that information. And you go, oh God, they're after me. Look, all you gotta do is click the bell. Just click the bell. And you'll be notified every time we go live. I promise you. Look, hurry up. I ain't got a lot of time. Just go live.
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
We can still hear you breathe.
Good God. I was trying to hold my breath and do this shit.
I can still hear you breathe. Damn.
My mind is telling me no.
Here we go with this.
But my body is telling me yeah. How is everybody doing? We are on a special day for y'all.
Yeah.
Special day Friday, but no more, no less. Welcome to Unfiltered. This is our last episode of the month of February for Black History and Black Healing Month that we've had. We appreciate y'all making it the success that it has been. We thank y'all so much. We got another special guest coming on tonight. I'm going to give him on before we pull him on here. But before we bring him on here, I'm going to go ahead and let he's special, but he's no stranger to the show. So I'm going to go ahead and let the best podcast crew in the land introduce themselves, and then we'll bring on our guest for you. So again, share. If you're on Facebook, go ahead, get it out that bad boy. If you're on YouTube pitching us tonight, go ahead, subscribe, and get it out there for us. We appreciate you so much. And let's start with the wonderful Miss Hills.
Miss Hills checking in. So happy that we have made it to the end of this month and that we have been healing this month. I hope we continue to heal. Don't let it stop now. Keep on healing. Keep on being great. And let's get into these topics tonight. They're going to be good for you.
It's your boy, Mr. Reese, 1/3 of Unfiltered. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. Like you said, it's the last topic we're going to do for this month, Black Healing Month. I am excited. I am looking forward to our special guest coming on and sharing his thoughts about things we're going to discuss today. And like I said, I've definitely learned a lot and gained a lot from these past few weeks talking about Black healing and mental health and spiritual health and physical health. So let's go ahead and end this with a bang. Bang, 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 bang. And as y'all see, I'm in my new house, aka my basement's dirty, so I don't.
I ain't going to do that. Well, there we go. Let's give it up for this wonderful. And what we got for tonight, Man, we got no strangers. So I see him in the background. He focused right now. He counting his money. He is counting that money. I see him right now. They want to put a business out there, but he counting stacks on stacks on stacks. This dope would not sell itself out these streets. I want to give it up to a very special guest, and I'm one of my best and most dearest friends. Not only that, man, that's well known around the city of Detroit. Probably going to be a future councilman. I'm prophesying it right now in the history. Right now for this man. Incredible.
Councilman Tate.
There you go. It's the big rich town.
Hey, I think he married Councilman Tate.
But we want to give
Y'all
it up
are so crazy.
brother.
Councilman Tate, you fucking.
Woo! I got issues. In case you didn't know. If you watch Power, you know a song and what scene that is.
Disgusting human being, bro.
Woo! Let's give it up for Mr. Marcel Copeland.
Hey everyone, good to be here again.
What's up, bro? What's wrong with this guy, man?
Councilman Tate.
He's silly. He too silly.
I'm sorry, Stell. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for the people? They already know you. You're great. First of all, a great guest of the show all the time, friend of the show. Appreciate it. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man, brother. We appreciate you for being here again, man.
Yeah, I'm Marcel Copeland. I'm just a friend of the show. I'm happy to be here, just to be in fellowship with these great individuals here who always impart such great knowledge. And I see Matt got the goats behind him.
Oh wait,
Listen, I can't take back seriously. He keep changing these up.
Wait, I can't even see it yet. Is it still loading?
No, it's
It
there.
is, yeah.
I can't even see myself, but I'm excited to see it.
Nope, it's right there. It's on. It's on that bad boy.
Oh, okay. I see myself on this one. All
So
right.
It's interesting that he brought that up because it's one of the few things, we always have that small chat in the beginning. Again, everybody, share. It's going to be a great show. Looking forward to really talking about this because as Mac had alluded to, this has been one of those incredible, I swear, we always have a great time on the show. Mm-hmm. But it's always when we get these shows where it give us these revelation that as we talking, we getting revelation. And that's the best type of thing you get. You getting revelation about yourself and your situation and things around you. And I swear, it's so many things that I felt like got lifted off of me this month in total with a whole bunch of things. It's just been incredible. And I love it so much, man. And I really hope, a lot of, we've getting so much email of people saying that they love the show and everything else. And it kind of hit a little different when we just found out how many countries are watching us.
Yeah.
Not no fake, not no pretend, not no everything else, but legitimately that watches us and support us. And it just it lets me know that it's a bigger purpose for us in regards to what we do. We ain't on here selling sex. We ain't on here selling items. We giving away truth. We giving away hope. We giving away peace. We're giving away love.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, come get it because we got it. It's plentiful and we're so grateful for it. So I have to look it up on my thing. I don't want to miss a country that has tuned into us because I'm so beyond humbled that someone would take the time out to listen to us. So thank you. Continue to share and we appreciate you so much. He got that goat, the two goats. I'm glad Marcel brought it up. He got two goats in the background.
Yeah.
Two considered maybe greatest of all time basketball players.
Sure.
Just a really quick thing, and I know because I don't want to stick on too long, Fifi, because we're not. But I got an opinion of this. Somebody said something in All-Star Weekend, just in case anybody watch it real quick, that it was so dope to me that I think it went over so many people's head. Kenny the Jet Smith.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
When everybody was talking, and they said, hey, man, dang, they go right there. Can you imagine? Them would go look at it. They both hug. The two greatest. Who can you say? There's like, how about we could just say that down there, we got greatness all around. Yep. And a lot of people still didn't get that, but I caught that moment.
Me too.
I caught that because it ain't about somebody saying Michael Jordan, greatest player of all time, or Magic Johnson, the greatest player, or LeBron James, the greatest player, or Oscar Robertson, because then they came out with another list and people got mad because they felt Kobe was too low on the list.
Yeah.
Lists are all subjective, and I'm going to be the first one to say this. Every list that's going to come out is going to be subjective because it's different people that's deciding on it, different groups and things of that nature.
Yep.
And we've said this on the show before that, man, we just want to enjoy and just be like, man, Michael Jordan and LeBron James just hugged and embraced each other. What would have been more incredible? What if Kobe Bryant was still alive and he was down there with that group?
Man, legendary.
Legendary,
bro.
Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Oscar Robertson, all of them together, and it was
all together.
And I meant to send this to y'all. Like, I saw it was a part where I guess Ray Allen walked by KG and KG
I was just about to mention that.
Long, and then later on, I see a picture with all three of them together. I just thought that was so exciting. One thing now, I do have one thing that I would have wished had happened there. I wished Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas would have made up. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have put the icing on the cake. The one thing I agree about this situation, I don't want to see one of them pass away and they just kind of don't bury the hatchet. I get, you know, it's old school basketball, bad blood, you know, yada yada. But I just feel like that's bigger than basketball to me. You know what I mean? We got legend, you know, one of the greatest, well, two of the greatest all time. You know, biasly Isaiah Thomas, because you know he brought us 2 championships, but just to kind of bury that hatchet, you know what I'm saying? So Shaq and Kobe did it. Isaiah and Magic did it. I think it would be great if Mike and Magic did it. What you think, Sil?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw those moments, and I agree with you 100%. You know, to be able to bury the hatchet, that would have been not only a great scene, but it would have been a good thing for, you know, the NBA, the league altogether, especially with, you know, all the turmoil and, you know, things that happened in the last couple of years with old wounds being dug open with various documentaries, you know, the Last Dance thing. And, you know, it would have just been a great moment for the culture altogether.
I like that. That's a better way to say that.
Yeah.
Fifi, I know that you got things to say because I know you know a little bit about it. So my question to you about this before we start getting into the other ones, and they both mentioned it. I think sometimes the sad part about it, one of my friends mentioned it. Shout out to my boy Darius. And he said this. He said the part that he realized the most, he saw and noticed, is parts where people were still holding grudges.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was so long ago. And you would think like, man, it's over. Get it together. Y'all got the moment. First of all, it's such an honor to even be considered the top 75. See, I don't think people understand when they make lists like that the list of people that ain't on that list is way bigger. You know what I'm saying? And it's 75 people. All it was they added 25 more new people to the greatest 50 of all time that they had before.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, you're like, man, Jordan, you and Isaiah, can y'all just be like, say, man, we were warriors.
Yeah.
And when we was on the court, we was warriors. And leave it alone. It's over now. Y'all you a billionaire. Y'all both rich. Beyond what y'all can see. Step out of that. Scottie Pippen. I thought Scottie Pippen was sad. You ain't even there. It's like people that had all this bad oaths and knew that you had bad, like Scottie Pippen. He ain't there. I'd rather be there. Because you know that you did something that caused disturbance and you can't face up to it. So, Fee, what you got to say about that? And then we'll close it out with you. I mean, what do you think the other lesson, outside of being around some of them great athletes, what's the lessons that you would think most people would learn from that so far?
I mean, to be honest, it's so many things I could say, but I'll just narrow it down to just learning lessons. That's the easiest thing. Just learn from the lessons, learn from the different experiences, take away the things that I would say just be more present and observant. Like, that was a big deal to see people holding grudges from over 30, 40 years ago. And it's like, okay, if we're working on healing, if we're working on moving forward, okay, process that, deal with it, understand. Okay, even if you don't even remember what it was about, then that means you need to let it go.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
If you can't even remember, like if it take you a while to be like, well, what was the whole point of this? Just let it go. Because you holding yourself up. It ain't necessarily about the other people. It's about the power that you give them over you. Because they done moved on. They doing what they doing. They ain't thinking about you. But you still holding. And you still stuck. But I think that overall, like, we just need to celebrate unity.
Yeah.
Because that's the dopest part. Like, y'all all came together to create a documentary. A few of them. Y'all all came together to take pictures and do things. It's just like, celebrate being Black, being proud, being excellent.
Yeah.
Stop giving into, you know, what they try to feed us to do. Be divided. Tear each other down. Let's be positive. Let's celebrate one another. We both got different strengths. And we all working on our weaknesses. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Way to start that bad boy off. And let's get into one of our topics for tonight. Let's start with this, not the easiest one, but definitely the most historic one that kind of got me choked up. And the reason why it got me choked up is that you get to see, you know, I love anybody that knows I'm being on this show and know me, is that I'm a strong advocate for my Black women. I love them. I make no qualms about how much I love Black women and how much I appreciate them. So when today we got to see for the first time, what's this, 69 years. Let's put it, since the existence of the Supreme Court. Wow. I mean, people, get that in your viewpoint. Really get this to your imagination. Somebody look up to see when the Supreme Court was started for me right quick.
You said when the Supreme Court started?
Yeah, when it started. When it first, since the beginning, since the existence of this, you know what I'm saying, this branch of government, the Supreme Court.
1789.
1789. For the first time, a Black woman has been nominated for the highest court in the land.
Mm-hmm.
If she gets through, she will combine with 4 women on the court, which would be the most at any time. 4 women. 4 women on the Supreme Court.
That's crazy.
Women winning. Women are doing a lot of winning.
That's phenomenal.
And all that, you know what that tells you, what that shows is like how much women actually do, what they sacrifice, and just to see it come to fruition. Like, you know what I mean? Like we definitely take for granted what women do on the daily. You know what I mean? So like to now see, you know, things happen and just to see them prosper is amazing. So I just want to throw that out there.
Absolutely. And Fifi, I want you to go last because you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And what you got to say, I think it's more felt because you are a woman. And not mainly, you know, because you're a Black woman. Beautiful. You know, before I used to stop wanting to say stuff like first Black and stuff like that, but I'm like, man, I ain't got to stop saying nothing and being ashamed of nothing my people go through. I'm proud to be Black American, and I love anytime my people not hurt nobody and doing their thing and seek out, and because somebody got to be first. That's the thing people don't even understand. Somebody got to be first.
Yep.
That's right.
She's 51 years old, which means that if she's on there, she can pretty much serve out almost maybe 3 decades. That's how much Breyer served out, because he's 83. She's 51. She can literally serve out the rest of her life on there, because that's one of the things that the judicial branch of the Supreme Court. Now, I thought maybe they should cap it off. I still do think they should cap it off a little bit, but she could, because pretty much if you get nominated, you can serve until you die.
Yeah.
So I think there should be a cap off. But anyway, just to think about that, it filled me up with so things because I've never been so happy to have my daughter, even my god babies, when they old enough to realize it, to see, man, you women can do anything y'all want to do.
Yep.
Put your work in. You could do anything that you want to do. Sale, I know that you're big into politics and things like that with me. One, how surprised were you that Biden actually kept his word? Because he's been saying this for a minute. Now, I'm going to give that, before you even say that, I'm going to give a shout out to Biden because he kept his word. He was saying this all through the primaries, that if I get elected, I will nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. And the Republicans had a huge problem with that. They tried to disguise it in the process because they always talk, Republicans always talk, the Republicans talk about the right and then the Democrats talk about the left. I'm like, okay, I'm glad y'all know directions. Now let's talk about going up and y'all stop putting your head up your asses and we get stuff done. Now we can get it done. So Sal, what you got to say about that, man?
Yeah, definitely. I was a little bit surprised at Biden, given his track record, that he actually kept his word on this one. Because, for a long time, blacks has always kind of been used as, kind of like a carrot in front of a horse to get the votes in. Yes, and so, I thought that maybe it was just kind of like campaign speak, where he would go in and say, yeah, well, I tried, and that wouldn't really go very far. But to see that he got such an excellent candidate, in my opinion, to be nominated and to actually go through, it's a beautiful thing. And just seeing her record and just seeing the excellence in her life that she lived. I mean, she's a great example for girls and guys,
Absolutely.
But definitely I was surprised to see her in the way that she spoke today. I don't know if you get a chance to see her speak when Biden announced her. She definitely comes across as a very strong faith person, a very strong, highly intellectual person. Of course, she graduated from Harvard, so that's a given. But yeah, Harvard. So but she also seemed very relatable, which was surprising to me. So I like that about her as well. But definitely, it was a great thing saying that.
Amazing. Everything you just said. The biggest thing I wanted to point out, and I put it out on my page today, I was like, the woman, based off her record alone, deserves it. She was the front runner from here because she has been nominated and put in 3 straight times. People don't know how hard that is with Republican and Democrat. That means that they came to agreement and they all basically said, this woman knows her stuff. She just got on the appeals court. She ain't even been on the appeals court that long. And she one of the few, and maybe the only, I think, since Breyer, that actually been on the side of defense, that got defense attorney experience. So she knows all the nooks and crannies of this horrible criminal justice system.
And the one thing I will say about what you guys were saying earlier, yeah, Biden did keep his word. And also what I kept looking at while I was researching is that they kept saying Biden. Which, I get he helped and kept his word. But let's give this woman her credit. She earned it. She got it. Like she definitely had the integrity. She did the work and she got to where she was. So don't get me wrong, Biden helped. He was a part of it, but she deserves all the credit. So I just want to put that out there.
Absolutely. And we got all these men talking. Let's hear from a black woman.
Oh,
strong black woman. An incredible
black woman.
Real black woman.
Lift me up, black woman.
There we go. Miss Heels.
Listen, this is so monumental just for the representation. Just because she is representing, just for women in general, but specifically black women. And it helps to give black women a new sight, a new visual, because that's all you see. You don't really see as many. You see it here and there, but it's not as many excellent high-level black representation. Majority of the representation that's out now is not positive. It's, ratchet, ghetto, whatever. And just to see this is amazing. It is so phenomenal because just like what you said earlier, Randy, you know, your nieces, your daughters, you know, your cousins, they have something to look up to. They have something that they can work towards and see is actually possible. And just women's representing in every facet of government in general is amazing because you don't see it as much. It's not as easy. Strong is an understatement because in order to be in the political arena, you know, in government as a woman, it's so hard. And for her to be consistent, for her to be maintaining and her to continue forward is phenomenal. And I'm just happy to see that she is getting what she deserves. And I hope that she continues to keep it up. And, you know, that we, again, support Black women, encourage her, continue to support her in the endeavors and things that she's going to do moving forward. Just, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you, my beautiful, strong Black sister. Well, you're my cousin, but still, thank you so much for that. Your beautiful self.
Thank you.
So, I want to ask you, Fifi. You kind of already said it, but with this happening, what do you think that means for other Black women right now and for the future? Like I said, you kind of already said it, but I kind of want you to maybe get a little deeper. Like with this happening, like, um, where can we see that now?
I think it helps us to have more of a seat at the table. In general, I want to celebrate Black women because we have, if you pay attention, we have been really excelling. We've really been stepping it up. We've really been doing a lot more just in general. You've seen our presence in business, you know, specifically within the last 2 to 3 years, especially during the pandemic when you would think that you wouldn't see this much of an increase and a rise. Black women have been really, and women in general, have really been coming out running. They have been excelling in business. They have been opening up their own Black-owned businesses, and they haven't been failing. They have been excelling. They've been succeeding, and it's amazing because a lot of them did not have financial support or backing. They didn't get the PPP loans and all these things. They actually were able to figure it out, bootstrap it, whatever you want to call it. You know, they've just been really working hard and seeing themselves being successful. I think that's the biggest difference in what has happened with just seeing more Black women doing amazing things in every area. You see the excellence. You see what's always been there. We're being more acknowledged. And I think that is allowing us to know that we've been having a seat at the table. It's been there, but now we're actually there. We're actually sitting at the table and we're making room for other women to come along. That's the biggest thing. It's just awesome because, to be honest, the way our world is set up, it is discouraging sometimes being a woman because you're not always appreciated. You're not always given the congratulations or the support,
That's a fact. Coming from a man, that is an absolute fact.
So to see that,
especially Black, I cut you off. Especially Black.
Oh no, you good. It's real, and I think people dumb it down. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. I think it's dumbed down. It's like, oh, we celebrate y'all, we support y'all, but it's not into the level that it needs to be. So we're seeing it rise, we're seeing it grow. It just needs to continue at a higher rate. And again, just making it clear, Black women are not going anywhere. We're going to continue to be building businesses. We're going to continue to excel, and we can do anything. It's not limited. And I think that's the biggest thing for young ladies. They're able to see positive representations of themselves in every facet. And I think that's the most celebrated, amazing part, because now they're going to see value. They're going to see high standards, high goals that they can set for themselves. And I think they're going to start striving and challenging themselves to be more successful and going in all these fields. We know that Black women have been doing amazing things in STEM, amazing things in technology, but we're going to start to see it more.
And can you hear me, Fifi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. No, were you finished or were you still going?
No, I was done. That was it.
And the big thing, I think Randy had said it earlier, then you kind of hit it too. When what they see on TV, you know, as far as, you know, the, not to say Cardi B's and meant to kind of pick on them, but the lifestyle that they say, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that, and just the entertainment aspect that they see, and we limit them to that. But like I said, it's to see more people in law, in medicine, in engineering, and STEM, like you said, in STEM and all this other stuff. It opens the doors, and it basically, I think it builds confidence. I think most importantly, confidence towards that, where they say, hey, if this person can do it and it look like me, I know that I can do it too. And for a while,
Absolutely.
I definitely take that for granted, because, you know, it's almost niche. It's like a niche thing. Like, okay, well, hey, I never saw a Black woman doctor, an actual Black woman doctor, not to even separate it, but not like an African woman doctor, you know, somebody of that nature. But like, to see a actual Black doctor is like, wow, like I never thought I would see one. So this can do it. I know that I can do it. So, like I said, before you guys said it, I kind of like took it with a grain of salt. But when you guys actually said it, and for this to happen, like, it definitely builds morale and confidence for young Black girls and young Black men also, to know that they can do it.
Yes. Yes.
Y'all both said it. Y'all both said it really. And nothing else, man. Y'all hit it right on the head. It's so, I'm just overwhelmed by the moment, because you just like seeing it. You like seeing your people do amazing things that go outside of where they try to put us in. It seems like they try to pigeonhole us into what we can do, and that's all we can do. You know, and really, like I said, really shout out to my women. You know, I remember seeing Hidden Figures, not knowing nothing about that story, not knowing about that. These three, you know, these incredible women who are geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things
mathematicians.
Mathematicians. Whoo! I'm about to stutter saying it. Mathematician, and it's like, wow, why we didn't know this. So one shout out to people that get these stories out, and shame on us for not researching. And that's real talk. And it's just incredible. I'm so happy. So to Miss Jackson, and the only thing I hope is that these Republicans don't try to hold this up. Stop it. You know, you got old Mitch, turtle face, old fucking McConnell, who always talking all this good stuff, is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen in life. I'm trying to figure out how this guy's still alive, because he got to go in his coffin at night. Damn vampire. Every time I'm talking, I'm like, bro, he gonna say, well, we need to go, we need to have to make sure we go through the proper protocol. Shut up. With Barrett, you pushed that through right before Trump got out. You squeezed that in with a month. Don't give me this crap. Don't hold this woman up because you're trying to wait for the primaries.
That's exactly what's happening.
Get it through.
That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening.
Don't play games. This woman should be confirmed before they get out in April. And if Mitch McConnell and them start talking that junk, talking about that other stuff, man, we need limits, because people like Mitch McConnell shouldn't even be in office anymore. He don't even have the integrity to stand. That guy talked too much, his damn jaw fall off because he made out of dust. He shouldn't even be in there. It should be a term limit.
Hey, as you and I both know, it doesn't take integrity to win spots and keep spots. So let's just keep that in mind. So
good word, my brother. Good word, my brother.
Yeah.
So with that note, let's get to this next one. And I'm just so happy because we got some good topics. But this one is dear to my heart, because we've been talking about it, but I think it's finally leaning up to the point where it's time for the black community to sit down in the living room, all at the dining room table, and we need to have those long conversations that we should have been had a long time ago. It's enough that when we walk out the door, everything we got to face, everything that we already know that we against. We against systematic racism.
Mhm.
We're against, you know what I'm saying? We come up against profiling. We come up against, even if we're the top of the class, they say you got to be better than that. You got to be the top in school history.
Yeah.
We got to be up against that. Oh, I know you score like this, but typically blacks don't score like this because they're typically not as smart as whites and other groups. That is something we come up against all the time. We know coming out the door.
Yeah.
But it's a piece that we don't talk about, and that's the stuff that we make ourselves come up against while we in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's really time. And, you know, really this topic, I just really say, I'm tired of it's the war. The war inside the house. When are the hard conversations in the black community going to happen? And we're going to have them. We need to have them big time.
Well, that I want to say that's why I love Unfiltered, because that's what we're starting. We're starting the conversations with every topic that we bring forth. We're starting those thought processes and those mindset changes to start to commence, because we're bringing about the things that need to happen in the community. We're bringing it here every time we come on, so that people can start doing the work at home. Even with the whole healing month, every month is healing month, because if you got something going on, you need to be healed.
Yes,
You need to deal with it. You need to process it. You need to address it. But specifically as Black History Month, as we acknowledge our history, we know we got to heal, because that was a lot of trauma and a lot of things that took place that we're still seeing the consequences of to this day, because things weren't addressed by the offender.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Fifi, don't go there.
I want to say this.
If you weren't ready for that.
Yep.
We weren't ready for that, Fifi.
Whatever.
Let's do this.
Not bring it to the table.
First question.
That's deep.
First question.
Real deep.
Right off the bat. Let's start off what we've been talking about for a long time. Right off the bat and everything else. Boom. What it's going to take for blacks as a whole, as a big community, to admit that we need therapy and psychiatric help just as much as we need to go to church and throw it on the altar.
I'm going to tell you why. You mind if I go first?
Go ahead.
A big fear of mine is that I always like, and I like, you know, my family, we don't have like issues or whatever, but like, you know, let's just like, if I were to get caught out on something, I don't mind it because I want to be better. My fear is that, and let's just say, hey, we go to family therapy or whatever, and we all, you know, express our demons or how we feel or whatever. And if a person get confronted, they don't like it, instead of dealing with it and kind of like, all right, understanding how somebody else feels, they just walk away. Or if like, hey, they don't want to bother with it. And I think what that'll draw to me or anybody else who deals with that is that, wow, that person doesn't want help, or they don't want to deal with it, or they're just dismissing it. So like, are we really trying to seek help? I think it's kind of an ugly image when you actually look at yourself in the mirror, or somebody tell you something about yourself that you don't like, and you have to deal with it or accept it. And some people choose not to do that. So it's like, why bring that to the table if we know that certain people don't want to deal with it or cannot accept it? And I think the worst thing with that is if you're somebody who wants to help somebody by expressing how you feel or what you think they have done to you or what they've done or how they can be better, and if they don't want to accept or kind of understand where you're coming from, then what is the point of it? So I mean, I'll just, you know, start it with that. I think that's one of the things that is definitely hindrance towards bringing stuff to the table because we don't actually receive it, understand it, or hear the other person. We can accept it or reject it if we don't like it or if we do like it.
So you think that in regards to that, one of the reasons why it's hard to have the hard conversation in the community for Black community is that a lot of people don't want to face the fact that it's a great possibility that you're wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I agree with that 100%.
I like that you have to change. It's like, let's just say, hey, I love who I am. But if who I am or what I'm doing to somebody is changing who I am or changing what I like to do, then I don't want to deal with it. Like, why you think, like, when people have interventions about drugs or drinking or whatever, you know what I mean, they don't want to hear it, even though they may, in the back of their minds, know that, hey, this is affecting me or my family or people that are around me. I don't want to hear it. Even, like I said, I don't want to hear that because you're confronting something that I want to do regardless of what it's doing to everyone else.
Great answer. I like that. That's really point on. Like this. Sale, question for you. If one of the questions in the Black community is nigga.
You said that pretty strong.
Yeah, nigga. We've seen this word used so much throughout history where we've even thought that we've coined it to a phrase where now it means something positive. But yet, if it's something positive, why are we so upset when another group of people dare even hum the first letter of it? That don't sound right to me. That don't sound right to me. Is this a situation? I've even heard people say, well, we can use it, but no one else can use it. I think that's very dangerous, and I think that's very hypocritical. Do you think that this coming to the table, because if you say, we could do it, but they can't do it. Like, we could say it in songs. We could promote the violence and killing our own people in our community. We could do these things, but y'all can't be entertained by it. That's bullshit. What's the word they say? I call cap on that. I call major cap on that. That's something that don't make sense. You can't say I can call my women bitches. Don't y'all call my women bitches. But if you put your women in a position where they treat it like hoes, because they, in your videos and everywhere around you, they treat it like hoes, then you get mad that other people treat them like hoes. Yeah, that's hypocritical. That's like a man saying, get your family in order, and his family is all fucked up. Now, what is this hard conversation gonna come to in the Black community where maybe we need to stop thinking that nigga is a word of
endearment?
Yeah. Good one. I like that. You right on that.
Yeah.
Endearment, of pride.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, because that was going to be my point, that I think that we've been socially engineered into thinking that, you know, we as Black people deserve to be called the N-word, that we are it. We're the embodiment of it. But if you call me that, you're stepping into my lane, and then you're stepping in something that belongs wholly to me, wholly to the culture, wholly to my people. But you know, you're not allowed to do that because that is racist. That is wrong. That has a racist connotation to it. But like you said, we feel like it's a term of endearment. And I don't see how a word that's associated with our pain and our suffering could be endearment. You know, the disrespect and the modernization of the B word towards our women specifically has somehow made us think that it's an empowerment mechanism. And so we can use the B word for our women. We can use the N word for us. It's empowering for us. We can use it to sell content. But if that same person who runs the whole structure that's selling the images and pushing it out there says it to us, then it's an issue. And I think that's a psychological breakdown.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Marcel. Good stuff, Marcel. And what I want to say to y'all about this topic is that I did not like that you said that. And when you said it, I was waiting to disagree with you. I was waiting to find one hole, and I couldn't disagree. And it just makes me feel it. I can't say I don't want to say nigga again. You know what I mean? I'll be lying. I would be lying. But it definitely it definitely is an eye opener. Like, wow, like it's a couple instances I just share really quick. You know, J. Cole's one of my favorite artists, and me and Chris was at the concert, and now mind you, but a lot of them are white. I'll say about half, maybe more, maybe less.
Yep.
And when he said nigga, everybody said it. Even though, like, to me, like, in the back of my mind, like, I was like, wow, like, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They know the song, they're going to say it, but it's like, they're actually saying it. And everybody's saying it.
Yep.
And it's like, so what do you do? I remember even at college, you know, I said a nigga around this, around a white friend of mine, and I just kept saying it. And he said it, and I felt upset. But then after he was like, well, you said it, so I thought it was all right. And from that day forward, I don't say that word in front of my white friends, which doesn't make the situation better.
But I understand why.
Yeah.
You know, because me and you the same way. Like I said, I came with that same tough decision with you because I can't front that out. In a group of setting as us, saying it all the time. But then I thought about it. Like, Mac, I know you have. I've had that horrible experience of hearing it come from a white person, and you know, he came around, and I still remember it. And even been up there, and you know, the guy saying, "Whoa, it smell like niggas." I'm like, did he just? I'm like, I'm sitting there in college at the table with the rest of the guys, and he just came out and said, started a whole fight, and I'm like, did this? I'm like, whoa, it struck another nerve, something that we ain't never struck before. And like you said, you be in the concert, like I'm somebody, like, man, don't say that, man. Don't say that to me. Like, shouldn't I say it? But you think it's a joke. And maybe somewhere, because I'm using it, I think it is too. But to a certain extent, I'm like, bro, I remember going to, and this is my thing, and then I know I get to feet because I know we want to hit a lot of these at the table things that we got. I remember going to the African American History Museum, downtown Detroit, outstanding museum.
Amazing.
And I'm telling you,
changes you.
It do some damage to you. And when I mean damage, I mean it'll break down a wall that should have been broke down. And me and my daughter went because I take her to every museum in and out of state. We go there. And we went there, and they had the part where they show how it's amazingly and it's so lifelike, where they show where the slaves were kept at. And then they had this part where it was called the Gate of No Return. And it was so, I was just like, as soon as I got up there, all I saw was my daughter bust out crying. She just totally just bust out crying. And I'm sitting there and tears coming down my eyes because it's like, I don't know what it was, but it made me say, like, my goodness. Somebody in my gene pool went through this. Somebody in my gene pool did it. And you sit there and you think like, wow. And then when they got over there, they had the audacity to be calling, be calling us niggas and everything else, everything that deterrence and all this other good stuff. And I don't think that people is taking it for a joke, in the words of term, because they've been saying it so much. But just because something has been done for a long time don't mean it's right. And that's what kind of got me doing some change.
Almost broke my table.
Yep. Because it's been doing it for a long time. I'm like,
whatever that
because it is it's the value of it. Yeah. It's degrading, it's devaluing. And what Black people tried to do was bring our value back up by trying to so-called claim the word and make it something different. But what the root of the word is and what the real meaning behind it still resonates. That's why when somebody else who is not black says it's a problem, versus when you with your friends and you say it, you don't feel that same offense.
Mhm.
And I think, to answer your question, because I've been trying to hold it in, it's about us really getting to the place where we love ourselves as black people. We still are fighting that fight of loving ourselves. We can say self-love, we can say all of these things, but when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we have had all of that past trauma, that past mindset change shifting, where we do not love ourselves. We don't. Because if we did, we wouldn't try to be like everybody else. If we did, we wouldn't be trying to compare ourselves to what Billy and Bob over there doing compared to what we doing over here. Keep it up with the Joneses, but it's technically keep it up with every other ethnicity that ain't black. I mean, to be honest, if we look at it, because when we see, okay, I'll say it like this. Our community thrived when we were about black power, when we were self-sufficient, when we were finding that strength within us to say, okay, we black, we different. We got curly hair, we gonna wear afros. We gonna, do whatever we trying to do. We all want to do this. Okay, we all gonna come together and unify and do it. We may not agree to everything, but we can agree to disagree and still unify for this common goal, this common cause. That's when we are the strongest. But what happens is it always gets torn down one way or another. And that's the constant cycle that we are needing to break. Because whenever we unify, there's always some type of division to tear down and destroy the unity. And then we have to fight and try to come together like now, generations and years and years and years later, to try to bring back unity. That's the common goal. We need to find out how to come together to love ourselves first, then unify and stay unified. We can be unified in diversity. That's the main thing. We feel like we have to be the exact same way to be unified. No, we can be diverse and still be unified. And I think that's the number one place that we need to start as a community. The little nuances that we try to graze over that's important, that need to be talked about, like our men and women, same thing. We just talked about that. How men are degrading women. You are degrading your own women. So we're not protected and we're not safe because our own men are degrading us. And that's put on display for the world to see. So then when other people see us, that's how they treat us. And then it's an issue. Same for women. Women are not celebrating and encouraging and communicating well with our men.
Thank you for that.
So because of that, we just go off to the next one. Same type of thing. But the cycle continues through everything. And it's about identifying the root of the cause. Okay, what are we doing? What's happening? But it's that healing that needs to be done. We keep talking about it. It ain't going nowhere. We're going to have to keep healing.
That's good. I love it.
We're going to have to keep healing. Because if we don't, we're never going to get to the goal. We're never going to have unity if we don't heal, if we don't love ourselves, if we don't start doing the work. That's period.
And that's why we keep saying accountable. It's words that we have all the time. It needs to be unfiltered vocabulary. It's some words that repeat.
Come on, unfiltered vocabulary. Yes, accountability.
Accountability. Just like what Max said, people don't want to get to the table because they're gonna have to face themselves. Mm-hmm. You have to face yourself when you at the table. You're like, look, this is a possibility that guess what? This person, the scariest part, and we want to get, because we still on this topic because it's a big one. Like even with therapy.
We might not get to the other ones. Let's just stay on it.
It is right. Yeah, so I agree with you on that, Fifi. It's so when we think about this and everything we just said, the other one about maybe to stop it, maybe we have to realize that a lot of the degradation that we have in our community, it's coming from other people, but we allowing it within ourselves. So I agree with all of y'all on that, because it's hard when you've been saying something and doing it for so long where I don't have an ill intent. Like me, my cousin, all this, we can say that and say to her like, man, what up, my nigga? And I'm not thinking nothing ill of it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, man, once upon a time, that we can walk down the street and maybe my great-great-grandfather or somebody else walk with their head down, scared to look at a white man in his eye, even when he did call him a nigger. And that's why some people didn't like being around there, because even an old man in those days, 60-year-old man, still was felt to make feel like he was a boy. So I agree with you on that. But the next one I want to get into, like I said, still coming to the table, the hard conversations, therapy. Therapy is a hard conversation in the Black community. But yet, the good thing and the growth I see is more and more people are getting it.
Yeah.
It's the healing part that you keep talking about, Fifi. But you know what I noticed? With some people, they're not taking it seriously. They think they go there so someone can tell them everybody else is at fault. And that's not therapy.
Oh, boy.
It's not therapy for you to go there. And I'm telling you, me going there didn't have to do like, oh, that person, did this. No, it was saying, so what did you do, Randy? It let you talk. So
Man,
what happened with that? And when I had to realize, bam, that's why I done said it over and over again when I talked about even my father or even my ex-wife in situations. I said, I stopped talking about anything that she did, and I started talking about the stuff Randy didn't do.
I am new to therapy. My first session was last week. It was a great experience. And I am going to say that everything that you said mirrored my experience. I thought that it was but like it was a space for me to just get what I need to get out. And like I said, just if that person's hearing me, and they can understand, like, all right, well, this is why I understand why you do this, why you felt this way. And they just kept asking, well, what did you do? Why you feel this way? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I was like, wow, like I didn't do that. I could have did this. And it just opened up a lot of doors that I felt like, wow, this is why this happened. I could have done this better, and this could have happened. And it was just like that self-accountability. I was like, wow. So when you use the word self-accountability, I wanted things to be better in my life and for other people around me. So I was like, wow, like, damn, I did do this. Maybe I did do that. And that's where it starts. We got to go ahead and have accountability for ourselves first. Then get to those.
First of all, I want to, because I'm proud of you.
Yes. Because that takes courage. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think the negative connotation with therapy and counseling is people feel like they're trash. Just because you don't know something, just because you make a mistake does not mean you're trash. It means you are a person, a human being that is learning, developing, and growing and maturing. That's all it means. But I think that's what's the fear, because Black people feel like I'm less than. If I'm not perfect, if I'm not getting this together, if I can't do it on my own, if I can't fix it by myself or within my little intermediate family or whatever,
that's a fact.
If the business get out there, I'm gonna be judged. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be understood. Number two. And then the last part, I'm gonna be looked at different.
And you know what that is, though, right? And I was about to say this, and I'm gonna say this loud and proud because I know what it is. And being there, I call it the Apple experience.
Explain this Apple experience.
Soon as Eve and Adam bit into the apple, they noticed they was naked. When you go into therapy, you are exposed. If you're doing it right, you're exposed.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely naked. Nobody want to be known. Nobody wants to be butt naked. I don't care how good you look. Nobody want to be butt naked and stripped down totally, so that way everybody can see who you are. And the funny thing about it is that we think more people are looking at us, but it's really not so much the people, it's how we gonna look at us.
Yep.
That's
because
right.
You have to start seeing the truth and why it is, because now you have to really dig into it. Like, it's the amount of insecurity that men have Because women say they have it, but men have it even stronger.
Yep.
It's a false bravado that we've built up for so long. And we like, wow, I can't tell nobody this. No man gonna ever tell somebody about he like, man, I was sexually molested. Don't let it be a man.
Oh no.
Absolutely.
They ain't gonna tell about that. Or being beat or being traumatized. And when you have to say those things, because what happens is that men tend to bury the stuff so deep to where they think they forgot about it. But all it is just it's like coming up. When I realized that when going to therapy and knowing this all the time, it's a volcano. Reason why volcanoes explode is because of pressure. And if they didn't explode, the earth would explode. Period. Everybody need to have an eruption, just a control eruption.
I was, yes, control, I think, but you have to provide an environment to where if you need to erupt, it needs to come out somewhere safe.
And that's where the therapy come in.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
That's where the therapy come in. That's why it's a control of it.
It need to come out.
Yep, it has to. It's got to come out. It got to be like, I need to get this out. Because what happens, you talk, and what happens is as you talking, those things start escaping through the cracks because you ain't lying. And the problem, and I tell people that why it's so hard for people to lie is because you got to remember everything.
Yep.
When you're sitting there telling the truth, and if you're doing it right in therapy, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to be like, wow, I didn't even know that there. Like I said, when you notice, like, man, I can't believe that, man. He was there, man. Dang, I hate him. And you're like, whoa.
You know where that come from, right?
Like, I just hate, like, I don't. And then you try to backtrack, like, no, I don't really hate him. But you don't. No, you do.
You do. Yep.
You do, because that's the memory is there. Or, man, I remember this and that. Like, you have so many people with so many issues, and they never address them because they're afraid of just saying how they feel. Instead, they come out in an explosion on innocent people. So you being hurt by that man or many men all over again. Some people don't realize that. That's a deep-seated issue when you have a woman who continually like the same type of man who provide the same type of result all the time. That's an issue. That's a deep-seated mental issue.
Yeah.
Guys, you go with the same woman. They do the same thing, but that's all you continue to be attracted to. That's a deep-seated mental issue. If you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone because you remember when you tried it one time ago, long time ago, and now you traumatized so much that the thought of, I got to get out of this way, makes you shut down. That's a mental issue. That's a mental block.
Yeah.
And it's just got to be, that's why I say it's got to be beyond that. That's why I understand that going in order, therapy and God go in order. It's both the same. You're getting the same thing. You're getting the exact same thing. You just need both of them. You're just getting a double dose of it.
Disagree with that.
And it's like, what in the world are people? So theory of, dear pastors, you ain't gonna lose members because they go get help. It's deeper than that. Men of God need to go get help. I've heard them.
Absolutely.
That have struggled, that have went through divorces, but they gotta pretend, I gotta stay strong. I'm the man of God. Everybody looking at me in this place. Don't be no fool. You a man first. You a vessel. God works through you. You gotta get the necessary help. You ain't made of steel. People think I'm made of steel. Oh, God's gonna help me through it. Yeah, He's gonna help you through it. And you know how He's gonna help you through it? By being with you and directing you to the help that you need.
Yes, sir.
Come on, stop putting God in a box. So that's what I would say in regards to when it comes to the church and everything else like that. You got so many people are so afraid of different things. And I think God is first of all, I'm never putting God in the box. I see everything that He can do every day. Everything that He can imagine and help everybody through and speak to. He can speak to a drunk on the street that you could just be standing at the bus stop. And this individual say the right words that's needed to be said to you right when you need it.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Like, people need to just get out of it. Get out of this nonsense of thinking that God can only work in one way. That's the problem when people do that. I'm calling me by wrong. That 1 Corinthians 2:9. You know, God say that, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't, heard, what I have for you. So if you cannot imagine, if God's saying, look, everything I got for you in every way, where your help will come from, where your success will come from, everything that you could do, I got so much in store for you that your mind isn't capable of comprehending what I can do for you, then stop selling yourself short by imagining your own thing. Because all you do is put it in a box. And God like, man, I got so much for you. You talking about, you want Detroit, and I got the world for you.
Yep.
So I think that's that part with therapy. And that's why I really encourage everybody, Black males, Black women, everybody, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with being able to say, this is getting too much for me.
Yep.
Especially within the last few years.
In the last few
Absolutely.
years, look what we've gone through. For the first time, people
whole
have gone
world.
through a pandemic, the biggest pandemic sales since what? The Spanish flu?
Right, yeah.
Y'all don't think people being in the house, especially how, I don't want to take this right, take it the way they want to take it.
Go ahead.
The strength factor in a lot of things. Because some people thought they were enclosed from people. It was, they was protected, and I understand being away from people. But, you weren't on 24-hour lockdown like somebody in jail. Try that. And try that for 2 years straight. But really, you've been through so much traumatic experience now. Think of everything that has been put upon us in such a short period of time. It's not been a long period of time that this stuff is compounded. It's actually been relatively fast. You go from school shootings, so our kids are traumatized.
Yeah.
You go from the amount of video games, traumatized. I don't care what they say. And they so desensitized to everything.
Yep. I mean, that's the main issue with why we're not healing. Because we're desensitized and we keep seeing the same stuff over and over. So as soon as you heal, you go right back in the same environment where that stuff is happening, and then you relive it again.
It's a constant cycle. It's like living the world on repeat. Like, he died, man. I've seen dead bodies before. We just had a 16-year-old kid in Detroit. 16! People comprehend this. Murder in cold blood, planned. A mother, her boyfriend, and a 5-year-old kid. A 16-year-old had so desensitized that he was able to execute a 5-year-old helpless kid. That's the time frames that we live in. It seemed hopeless, but we can get it. It can be better. But like Mac, it was saying, we have got to come to the table and face some hard truths. Parents gonna have to face, you screwed up. And there's nothing wrong with saying that you screwed up. What's wrong is you keep screwing up. You allowed your kids to do so much. We have to a point. Some of us allow TV to raise our kid. Here, man, sit here. I got work to do. I got to go to work and I got to do this. Here's the TV. Here's a tablet. Here's the phone. Here, do all. Here you go. Do all this. Yeah. When we should have been watching them. When we should have been like, wait a minute, what you watching on that tablet? What's this? It's supposed to be a cool thing. It started in our generation. Adult Swim. Yeah. It started with us. We was watching Adult Swim. We'll wait up, man. Wait for Cartoon Network to go off, man. Adult Swim, this young about to come on, and you get desensitized. And like you said, Fifi, this is the part where it's the healing aspect, and you can't get healed when you don't think nothing is wrong with you, when you've come to accept it as the norm. It's crazy. It is really, really deep. And it's funny that the other topic we don't have to go into because we just hit it already, talking about the accountability and healing. So the other aspect of it is the devaluing of family. What's going on? Why are we devaluing family so much? Why is it so much of I'm a woman, don't need a man. I'm a man, don't need a woman. I'm a kid, don't need the parents. Because we're getting to that point. Kids divorcing parents. I'm done. We don't need you.
You know, it's funny. We talk about that all the time, but like when you re-ask the question, it just brings you up to like our old topics. And to kind of answer the question, how you present it is that the parents nowadays don't want to be like how their parents were, or slash want to be their friends. So it's like that's the relationship I have with you. So that's self-inflicted as well.
It all goes back to us dealing with the pain and the hurt, the trauma. You have to acknowledge it and you have to accept it. Then you can actually do something about it with talking it out and processing. But if you do not be intentional about your healing and really dealing with these things, I don't care if you're young or old, it's not going to go anywhere. It's only going to remain. And I keep saying that over and over again because it's the truth. Truth will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
But people are not accepting the truth. So we got to start accepting the truth about every situation that we're in. Even just about, it's more so about the social norms,
Right.
the things that we are using to be our gauge and our guide instead of God. You know, growing up because that's what's applying all that pressure, and that's what is putting us in the rat race and on the hamster wheel, because we go based off of society's standards or what they claim. Like, okay, we're all probably, well, I know Randy's not, but we're all in our 30s. Randy's a little older.
Everybody, Randy had a birthday and he's 40.
I'm 40. This is 40. This is 40.
Oh,
Y'all so late for that. Kill it.
It was no disrespect. No disrespect. I'm just saying you a little older than us. But my point was,
no, Felicia, he's a lot older than us. He's a
listen,
lot.
Whatever. My point was,
we were never in elementary school together.
Oh my God. My point was, shut up. Max, shut up. My point was, you hear that social norm that by the time you're in your 30s, you should have a house, you should have a car, you should have your kids, you should be in your career, you should be having savings and all these things. And that type of pressure, because you're trying to keep up with this standard, that causes you to be depressed. If you're not in that timeline, you be looking up like, oh shoot, I'm almost 30. Oh God, what's happening? Oh no, I got to do so much that I ain't did yet. All that extra weight is so unnecessary, because your time frame is your time frame. As long as you get it accomplished and done based off what you need for you, that's all that matters. But I think people striving for that American dream is what is causing a lot of the issue, because our society and our culture is not set up like that. Our whole economy ain't even set up like that. You can't even get a job and be in a job for 50 years these days. It's not set up that way. That's why you have so many entrepreneurs coming out the gate and trying to make their own lane and do their own thing, because everything is not the way it used to be. The sustainability is not the same. Even when you work in factories, it's not the same. They could be here today and then close up overnight, and then you go to work like, where y'all at? They gone. They filed for bankruptcy and closed. So it's just so different. And I think that is the root of why everybody is having these issues they having, because they're trying to keep up with all of these things that you got to sit down and be like, look, this is what I'm trying to do, but I don't think this is good for me. I'm trying to keep up with this because I heard somebody else say this is what I'm supposed to be doing by the time I'm this age, or I'm getting shamed because I am still single and I'm over 30. And as a woman, oh, well, what's wrong with you then? Because you should be able to get a husband and have some kids by now. You should have been married. That's the kind of stuff that we have to be intentional about. We got to stop having these conversations. Oh, girl, he would have liked you if you was a little lighter. You too dark skinned for him, girl. Same for men. You know, those the real topics that we don't talk about, that we do all the time. And we do it to each other. And that's the part that's perpetuating. It's like, okay, you wonder why your little daughter ain't happy that her hair is curly, because you always wearing your hair straight, because you wearing wigs and weaves all the time. Why would she like her hair curly? Why would she like her hair natural? Why? She don't see her mama hair like that, so why she gonna want her hair like that?
Yep.
Those are the type of things we need to start talking about because we ain't talking about it.
I think you know what I agree with you. I agree like about all the way. I agree up to about 90% of what you said. Because I think in some groups, even like ours, that we are talking about it. I think people, for the most part, and Sel, I got this for you. I really want to hear you on this one, man. And I know Fifi said people keeping up and trying to do this. I think that we are so stuck, even as advanced and how smart that we you see, that everything's coming and people are moving. It still feel in the atmosphere like it's a survival mentality instead of trying to thrive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I see in most communities, and I just gotta be honest, just because I've worked with different, I keep working with different communities and doing business, and what I notice, even when I go to, I'm gonna be honest, and this is about to, oh man, whew, I go to white churches, and I see such a pull on togetherness, and that we are all in this together. Let's get it going. Leave no man behind, almost like it's a Marine, mentality. And I mean this. I mean, what's the name? I'm trying to think of some churches. I don't want to say that it's white, but at the time frame,
Evangel.
Yep. I don't want to say it's white, but it's close to it. It's mixed, but Evangel, you go there, the atmosphere is so ripe of togetherness. You won't see people feel like they outcasted.
I like those churches.
If anybody ever been there, they could co-sign that for me. You're not going to be outcasted. And then even been to Temple, been to in Hamtramck as they prayed. You're not outcasted. It's a togetherness mentality. In black churches, not all of them, but a great deal of them, it's cliquish. And sometimes you'll come in there and it feel like they more interested in just worshiping whoever is the head in there, like they statues at a museum, outside of what the church is supposed to be and always supposed to be. It was a hospital for the sick. So when you see that kind of different thing, it's hard for people not to gravitate to where you see you getting love from, for the most part. Now, like I said, I know, Sel, you and all, you everywhere. I'll just be honest, you everywhere. You've been around every nationality and everything. And what do you see that at the table that we all talking about, we sitting at as blacks, that the hard conversation when we gotta have? What do you think is the hardest, in your opinion, the hardest talk that we gotta have at the table when you look at and compare it to other races and everything else?
I think getting past broken mindset and self-centeredness, and I know I'm going to take a lot of flack for what I'm going to say, but we as Black people in a Black church is very self-centered in the grand scheme of things. Now, being around other races and cultures, they deal with similar issues that we deal with. There's racism, there's division, there's infighting, but they look at the bigger picture. And so you see that kind of unity. So I'll use like Hamtramck. Well, I use Dearborn as an example.
Okay.
Most people don't know there's the East and the West. And the people, they're divided, right? And so they look at each other. Yeah, that's from Syria, that's from Iran, that's from Iraq. I don't mess with them. Blah, blah, blah. But when it comes down to it, they pull together. It's all one, right? We from what I've seen in our culture, we still had that kind of slave mentality. I gotta get mine before you get yours. It's crabs in the barrel, you know. I gotta step over you. I have to be, you know, in front and center. If I perceive that you're doing better than me, that's a problem. And so we're still stuck in that mode. And so we can't see the bigger, wider issues in our community because, you know, organizing community clergy alliances and clergy walks and peace walks and different community events, you'll be surprised how much infight would be. Well, whose name going to be on it?
Right.
You know, who's the lead church or whatever. And, you know, that sort of thing. If we could ever get past that, get past our pride, then I think
Amen.
we can actually grow, you know, and that's not to
Mhm.
put down the Black church. I mean, because there's a lot of good that's come out the Black church. We've innovated a lot of things that we don't sometimes get credit for.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
We're innovators and a lot of respects, and we open up the doors and a lot of respect. So I'm not going to put down the Black church, but what you see is we have never really had systems in place. You
Yes.
find to Black churches, you find that we're still, you know, bootstrapping it. We're still in startup mode, even though the church is 30, 40 years old.
Woo!
Whereas, you know, you go to the suburbs and their mindset is, okay, we're going to plan everything to teach it the best way we can so that there's systems in place for everyone. There's a checkpoint for everything. You need mental health services. We're going to see if we can, you know, recruit people or even steer people in that career field to come back here, help people. You know, we got addiction issues. Well, yeah, we're going to pray for them, but we're going to go beyond that. We're going to actually have addiction counselors on site, you know, and so they kind of think of it from that standpoint where we're like,
damn, still
well,
pray it away.
got to do it. And, you know, we just going to show up on Sunday and do what we do and go home, you know, and that's where the biggest fault is. And that goes back to our earlier conversation. You know, I just went to counseling last week because I said there's some stuff I need to deal with. And, you know, when you leave yourself open and you put your pride aside, and it's a hurtful thing when you say, look, this person that is me, that is Marcel, he has some things that needs to be worked on. And there's some stuff that comes up, but you also see this other side of it that, you know, if I come out and say that this is what's happening, then I might be ostracized. I might be looked at different. But a lot of that comes from just lack of knowledge and self-centeredness. And so
Absolutely.
once we get more of a worldview, and you see this even with political, and I know you know this, Randy. You see this with political issues. You see this with social justice issues, with other cultures. We're like, it don't affect me, you know, and we shouldn't have that mentality, you know.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Whoo, Sale. Goodness gracious.
That was the nail on the head, 1,000%. Absolutely.
It's just because, like you said, you got, you know, like you said, it's got good communities, and you know, like I said, I'm proud of my church. It's one of the things I love about New Covenant, that they are. Let's get our hands dirty and get outside the four walls, and let's do things that happen. Let's be in the community, and it's one thing that I've always been extremely proud of. It's a problem. Kids can't walk to school safely. Let's start a patrol. You know, food. We start a food pantry. It's making the necessary adjustments. But like you said, and we've experienced it, is that somebody might have a bigger church than ours, and they see our work ethic, but they're like, well, you know, maybe we should be the name because we're bigger. And it's like, this is the, you know, the points that we get across. Right now, Russia's invading Ukraine. Right? Ukraine got a lot of infighting inside the country itself, right?
Yep.
Not now. Want to know why? Because all of them put their stuff to the side and said, this the bigger picture is our existence to keep existing. So we're going to join together. We're going to fight off the Russians. This is, and Sarah, that's why I said, you hit it. Oh my goodness, you hit it so much on the head. Kind of just followed up what Felicia said. Then what Mac just said about everything getting to the table. which we can all pretty much resonate. We have to get to the root of the issue, which is that, man, a lot of the ways that we in there is because it's selfish. We're selfish.
And prideful.
Yep.
Like we hear, and the things that we should be, which getting self-care is not selfish. It's actually one of the most unselfish things you could do, because you're saying, I know I got something going on.
Yep.
And I need to get this taken care of, because I can't help anybody if I don't have the right help. How good am I going to be?
I just want to say too, it ain't just for women, but that's the main agenda that's being pushed. Self-care is not just going to the spa and getting your hair and nails done.
Yep.
Because that's the main thing I've been seeing a lot, girl, self-care, self-love. Yes, that is wonderful. That's great. Everybody should be taking care of their bodies. Everybody should be making sure they're doing well, but it's about the internal. That's the part that people are forgetting.
Fifi and Sel must have drank some ginseng, because y'all just hitting some things. I'm just like, man, because that is true. We just not, man. It's like self-care, and man, to Sel and Matt, man, I'm so proud of both of y'all, man. Getting that health in.
Appreciate that.
I need another clap for all three of y'all, because you're Black men in therapy, and that is amazing.
I remember about 2 years ago when I opened up about going in therapy. I remember it was on the show because I was by myself. I didn't have nobody. I was like, I need to do this show by myself because I need some stuff I need to say. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the shortest shows I ever did, but I got one of the most biggest reactions, email wise, from men and women who just didn't realize I said, because there's a lot of functioning depressants, people that are depressed.
Wow. Wait. Put that together again.
That people just ain't understanding this. It's so many functioning depressed people right now. And I can go deeper than that. We could just say depressed men right now.
Look, I know it's supposed to be February for Black Healing Month. Mm-hmm. That got to be a whole separate thing in itself.
Absolutely.
Like, that brought my soul into tears. Mm-hmm. Functioning depressed.
Because that's what happens. It's functioning depressed men. And I had to, years ago, I had to really realize, because I thought nothing was wrong, because I was so used, and I've shared this with Matt, I was so used to being, hey, people go, I'm so used to people coming to me, ask me, hey, Rand, can you have my advice on this, man? Can I talk to you? And I'm sitting there and I talk and I listen. And man, I thank God every day he was able to give me the right words to say to people and to help to say to everybody. But then when people leave,
who's helping you?
I'm in tears. I'm in flat out tears. I'm not embarrassed to say it anymore. I was in flat out tears because I was still dealing with my own, dealing with my own demons, dealing with things that was trying to hammer me to the ground. And how I do to function with it, I kept working. Everything else, everybody, hey, can you come do it? I'm here to do it. Until I realized that one day I'm like looking around, and I sat down, everything was cool, and then realized everybody was gone. And you realize, oh my goodness, I'm not getting this help. And it ain't because people wouldn't help me. It's because I never let nobody know I needed it.
Nope.
And when you don't let people know that need it, it's a horrible, you feel you could be working hard. You could be working hard at the job, being the boss. Everybody's saying that you're the best boss. Everybody's saying that you're a good boss. You're doing the best work. You're doing everything. You're moving in people's life, but you want to roll up in the corner and you feel horrible.
That's a fact.
You feel horrible.
That's a fact.
It's the worst feel. I can never tell them where we're getting up, knowing I had to get work, and inside of me, knowing the part of me is fighting, was like, man, I just wish I just go back to sleep and didn't wake up. And you get there and you're working and nobody knows it. Nobody know it, but you're functioning. Because you're fucking like, okay, there we go, taking care of everybody, making sure the food is taken care of, the bills are paid. Even friends are better. You're there to be the shoulder for your friends and family. But then you go to sleep at night
Mm-hmm.
And you got a restless sleep, but you're sleeping. See, nobody ain't gonna catch that. You got a restless sleep, but you're sleeping.
And you and even to add to that, since we're talking about that, and that part makes you feel like you're healing, because like, all right, like functioning depressants can't sleep, but when you feel like you sleep, like, okay, this is my healing time, or this is my time where I can actually unprocess, or I mean, process going on, and you're still
Unplug, unwind. Yeah.
it's still not happening. That's deep.
This is such a important and phenomenal conversation, because this is the kind of conversation I was having with my husband. This is the kind of conversation that women need to have with men. And this is why we need to not just rush and jump into relationships, because we really have stuff that we're dealing with that we need to, like we're saying, open up and share, so that we are not just functioning depressed people. We're not just skeletons walking, dead people walking. But like you said, Randy, we're thriving in life.
Right.
We're reaching and living in abundance. We are really, truly experiencing joy and peace and happiness, and not just functioning addicts.
Whoa.
That's the biggest thing. That's why it's important to unplug from social media. Not because you don't feel like you're gonna miss out on something, but because you need to make sure you're okay.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. I wasn't ready for this conversation. I wasn't ready for it to go how it's going.
This deep. Deep.
Yep, because that's all. Like you said, this is when you get there, it's just, man, it's this there. Like you said, Sel, when you got to get to the face, you got to face yourself like, hey, something's got to be done now. Because now, when you actually get to that place where you noticing too much now, because everybody gets to that one place, you're like, look, it's too much for me now, and it's starting to show in everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's showing how you feel. You begin to start alienating yourself.
Yep.
Hey, the good thing about God is that even though you're going through it, it'd be that one person that don't know you, don't even know, like you said, when you're going through it, you can't tell that you're going through it. Inside you do. It takes that one person is just to go ahead and open that up, and it's like a nail busting a water balloon. It just comes out, man. And like I said, just going through that, it's definitely real. I never heard it how he said it, but it made perfect sense. Like, and that was like definitely one of the reasons why I was seeking therapy, because it didn't sound real. I mean, like a functioning depressant, like
Functioning.
Wow.
It's just like how you say somebody's a functioning drunk.
But it's visible. It's like you can see a fucking drunk, or like somebody can even tell you, like, hey man, I drink, every Saturday, every weekend I drink.
Yep.
I can come to work and
can't see that. Yep. Like you said, you can't see that depression.
It takes God to put that in a person, or a special person, to actually see what you're going through, or to even know that you're going through something.
Yep. Because behind all them smiles, woo, people don't know what's going on. Because, like you said, like Fifi said, you afraid of healing because it's going to require you to open up wounds.
Mm-hmm. And some wounds that you think, if it's
you're like, man, I don't want to open up that wound. And some of them, the most hideous of them, you are terrified to open up. You're like, yeah, I don't want to open that back up, because now it's got to open up. You got to rethink, and you got to some of the worst memories that you can have in your life. I don't care what people say. They talk about forgive and forget. Woo! Good luck with that. So the worst things in my life, it might be some, it's hard to forgive, but you never forget. You like, like it's there. Like it's there. Now you got to relive it. Now you got to put it back in pictures, and you're stuttering because you're trying to act like you don't remember it, but you remember every detail. You can remember what the smell was. You can remember what the temperature of the day was, and how everything felt around you. And it was, like I said, it's when it comes out, I remember when I got that aha moment in therapy. and my whole body froze up. And everybody know I could talk. I couldn't say nothing. I was like, and they kept asking me the question over again, like, can you repeat that for me? Can you say that one more time? And I'm like, whoa. And it's just it's a moment because you kept it hidden for so long from yourself, or tried to hide it from yourself, but it's always that elephant in the room. That's why when you see people, that's why I'm constantly asking fams and family people I love the most, man, how you doing? Wellness check. How where you at? Because every day, thank God for Paul. Paul said, I got to die daily. I think people really don't understand that a lot, because I didn't understand it until I had to really think on it. And yeah, of course, you got to bring it back to God, because God's the center of it all. Paul said, I got to die daily. And I had to, like, really, Fifi, I know, much I know all of y'all know, but I had to meditate just on that scripture.
Yeah.
Because I was like, die daily. Some people are like, man, what do you mean? He means that I got to wake up, and everything that's hitting me, every temptation, every fear, I got to die to it repetitiously. Because today I feel like doing it. I got up and it came back. I thought it was gone, but it was there, and I got to die to it again. Like, now I got to die to that and keep it moving. So unless you know, even more, when you get to, when you read and understand some things, that not only did people like, oh man, they did this, they was super. No, it wasn't superhuman. Actually, it was more human than you can ever imagine. They was like, man, I'm going through some things. If you don't think that depression and things is real, you don't think anxiety is real?
It's real.
Garden of Gethsemane, knowing that tomorrow I'm gonna get hung on a cross. And people bring up like, oh, he was going crazy. He said, man, I'm grieved beyond death, which means my mind is so torn, and I'm in such a position that I can't even comprehend it. I need to go pray. I just need y'all to stand watch. And every time he got mad, I'm like, because he was already on 100. Can I? Oh man, people don't even want. I don't think people want to talk tonight. He was already on 100.
See, that was the key though. That prayer.
Yep. He's like, I gotta pray. I'm on 100 right now, and I'm mad because the one time I need y'all to be strong for me, man. I ain't gonna.
Yeah.
The one time I need y'all to be strong for me, y'all not there. Y'all falling asleep. I'm over here praying. I'm saying, keep watch. I need y'all to stay because I'm done. I'm telling y'all right now, functionally, I am done. Y'all have no idea what's about to happen tomorrow. It never pressed to the apostles until they saw it, what actually was about to happen. And when people say anxiety, all this, all these other things, yeah, it's definitely got spiritual principles to it. Absolutely. Because nobody can tell me in a million years that that time frame that Jesus wasn't anxious, that he wasn't in a place that he never been before. Because keep in mind, if he said he experienced every single emotion, every temptation that man could experience, and people gonna tell me he didn't experience that, no, that's a lie. But what Miss Hill just say? Prayer. And I remember his prayer. He said, man, Lord, I'm grieved beyond my, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, your will be done, not mine. And it's got to get to a place. That's where I think we got to get to where, Matt, you just said at the table, where when we get to the table talking about these things, we say, look, not what I want, but what's best for everybody.
Yes, sir.
A compromise beyond everything else. Like, just get it out. Let's get healing. Like Vivi just said, it's the healing. Just to be honest, man, you probably don't know, but you did something a couple of years ago, and it messed me up.
Yep.
I never knew how to tell you about it. And I've been sitting here hating you low key about it every day. I see you, it brings
Listen,
up to my face.
that is so important
Whew.
because you don't know how many people. First off, number one, we don't know how many people are watching us. You don't know how many people are influenced by you. You don't know what kind of example you're giving off. Especially in them times where you feel like you just doing you. You just by yourself. You in your own lane, in your own zone, whatever. You never know who's watching you. And that's why it's so important to be kind and nice to people because you never know what people going through. Just like you going through, other people can be going through. And because you got a I don't feel like being bothered moment and you say something crazy to somebody, they could go, that could have been it's win. And you just set them off and push them over the edge. And the same for you.
Stop it.
The same for you.
Just
People don't
stop
know
it
what
right
you're dealing
now.
with and what you're going through. And then somebody say one thing. It only took that one thing. And what they said wasn't even that crazy, but you just needed one more thing to push you over the edge.
Yep.
I'm Fifi, I'm done with Fifi. I'm about to put everything on mute.
No. But no, this is what I'm saying. This is why prayer is so important. Because when you are talking to God, prayer is just, first off, let's get this clear. Prayer is just talking to God. Like we talking on this show, this is how you talk to God. Point blank, period. It is not all this fancy. I got to get all extra with these words. You just be like, hey, God, I'm tripping today. Help me. That was a whole prayer and that was the end. It ain't have to be 15, 20, 30 minutes long. It's just talking to God because you're inviting him into your life to give you that peace, to give you that guidance, to give you that direction, to take away that anxiety, to take away that depression.
Yeah.
You're allowing him to intervene so he can fix it and make things right. He can show you, hey, you feeling this way because your aunties and your grandmas and your granddaddies and whoever never dealt with these issues. And now all of it is falling on you. So now you need to stop and you need to deal with them. So now you breaking that. And now it ain't going to pass on to your kids and their kids and their kids because you dealing with it right now.
Right.
You're learning positive ways to destroy those negative patterns and cycles and behaviors.
That's some deep. That's beyond deep. Because that's just Fifi. I'm gonna say just one thing, then let y'all say what what I say. I'm saying that you all up in it because I went to I was talking to Mac today, and right after I talked to him, I was at the grocery store. Right, literally after I got out of the grocery store. Before I got in there, was this old woman. I was parked next to a what you call those, the handicap spot. And she pulled up right there on the side of my car and whoop, and then she got out. She was like, could you park any closer? Because the way she parked, it was real tight, from her to get out this time. And I looked at the car, I'm like, well, I mean, I parked right in the spot. She kind of parked close. But I was like, I just thought to myself, like, I'm going to just move the car over a little bit and give her a little bit more room. Didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything. But throughout the grocery store, as I was talking to Mac and I was doing it, I kept noticing that she was coming back around me. We kept passing by each other, like it was going down the same aisles and stuff. I got phone, Mac said, "Cuz I'm gonna get off the phone with you. I'll talk to you. Talk to you later night. Love you. Everything else." Got back out to the car, and I'm putting my stuff in the bag. Guess who right there? It's her. She putting about to put stuff in her car. She like, she didn't give me any more room, and I still just didn't think that something just, it wasn't even, I can't even say nothing. This was something, maybe I'm just like, okay, just didn't even say nothing. And as I was putting stuff in the back, she had this big thing of chicken, this huge box of chicken. And, she's just older white lady, she couldn't even pick it up. I saw, she couldn't pick it up. So I went ahead and I went over there. Someone told me to pick it up and put it in the car. I thought myself, like, man, as soon as I picked it up, go car, she probably gonna be like, nigga, help me, everybody, help me. There's a nigger over here trying to do something. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was gonna happen. I did it. I really thought it was gonna happen. I was like, cause she owned one. So I went up, picked up the box, and I put it in her car, and I said, there you go, ma'am. And I was getting ready to walk away, and then she like gave me a grab on my car, my arm. And she was like, I'm sorry. It's been a bad day.
Wow.
And I was like, boom, took my hand. I grabbed her hand. I said, we all entitled to him. I hope it get better for you. You have a good day, man. But when you said that, that's all it made me think about, because I was just like, I could have had such a different reaction.
Yep.
He's gonna karate kick her.
Yeah, like I could have kicked her and stole her chicken.
Wow,
And stole the chicken, because we black people, we love chicken. I'm just like, but everybody, but it just go back to what you said. That might have changed. She might have just came back from a doctor and told her the worst news that she ever heard in her life. Mm-hmm. She could have got word one of her kids or somebody that close to her passed away. She could have got home and saw that she had a eviction notice sticker on her thing. And that's why she was upset. But because I did not give her that energy back, but I gave her something different that showed her, and it kind of resonated with her spirit. Because I know it did. I know it resonated with her spirit. Because me just coming over there, putting it in her box, because I saw her struggle. She couldn't get it.
I'm sorry.
But putting that box, the chicken, in her car.
I'm sorry.
And I knew something was up, because when she grabbed my arm, it wasn't the Juwan Howard grab.
Yeah.
It wasn't that grab, but it was a grab of
endearment, care.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean, I'm having a bad day. And that's all it needed. Like you said, just the right words sometimes to people. Just because they give you the energy could mean everything. And sometimes when you meet that energy with people, it could turn it way worse. Sometimes all it takes is man, I hope you have a good day. Just that word. Like if I catch somebody staring at me for a long time and it look like they trying to grim, I'm like, how you doing today, brother? And it catches them off guard every time. Like, oh, hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing? And it's just like you said, it's just so deep. Everything you just said is like, it dug into me, because you're like, man, if we could just get to this point, this beautiful point of just sitting there, and maybe just everybody sitting there, just boom, not no target practice, but just healing release. Like, I know you're really thinking about this, but it's just boom, dang.
This is what the church is. This is church.
100 degrees. 100.
This is the way church is supposed to be. You're not supposed to leave the same when you leave. When you come in a certain way, you're supposed to leave out different. If you come in and you leave the same way you came in, you might need to find another church or go on a different day. Because
BP, say that heck of different. Because like I said, church supposed to be the hospital. So if you go to church and you come out the same way you left in, you need a new doctor.
Seriously. And again, this is not disrespectful to any person that is in a position or a pastor or any of these things. It's just this is the point. You're supposed to find what works for you, what fits for you. Yep. You go to the doctor so that you can find the doctor that knows how to give you the best care. Yep. That's the same way for the church. You have to go where you're going to get the best care that's going to be catered to you. God is the same everywhere. He's the same. But the delivery, the care, the approach is all different. So you have to go where this is going to work for me, because I'm going to understand it. The doctor is going to speak to me in a way that I can clearly understand, that's going to make sense, that I can comprehend. And then I can actually take what he's given me and apply it. That's the biggest thing. If we can take what God is trying to give us and apply it, this whole healing month, take it and apply it. Don't just get on the podcast and listen to the stuff and, that was a nice conversation. They went deep. Okay, take something from it. Do one thing for yourself. Look at yourself. Deal with it. And it may be scary. You may not have support. That's okay though, because you're helping yourself. You're investing in you. You're adding years to your life. It's necessary. It's so necessary. Do the work. It's necessary.
I'm glad you said that part.
It ain't no timeline on it. It ain't no speeding thing. It got to be done real quick. However long it takes, trust the process. Just go through it. And don't beat yourself up because you're going through a process. It's okay. Give yourself permission to heal.
You saying a lot of stuff, cuz.
I know she said she really did good. And then like the other part where she said do it, like you said, Sal, it's a two-part situation. It just ain't the church, it just ain't psychiatrists, it just ain't wherever you going to get the help, it just ain't them. It's another part you got to do. You got to let them know where it hurt at. You can't go in there letting them guessing. You got to let them know where it hurt at. You go to the doctor and say, they're like, what's going on? I don't know, figure it out, doc. Like, what? If I'm the doctor, I'm like, if you don't get out of my mouth. But there it is. Like, so if you go into church, if you can't even admit something is going on, you do yourself a disservice.
Yep. I can't help you.
You can't help you if nobody know what's going on.
Yeah.
So again, where that go? That go with the accountability, the healing, the pride. We got to get these things. We have to really demolish these things. And it's so funny that we said kind of this with church, but this is the whole recipe for the Black community getting itself tighter together. I know we say money, and money is, guess what? Money answer all things. It's a good tool when used correctly.
Yes, sir.
But if you ain't wise, if you ain't healed, you ain't gonna have no idea how to use that tool the right way. We got many people that became rich. It didn't use it the right way. So we just got to get to the point where, like you said, we got to we have to just admit to our wrongs. That's the big thing. Admit you're wrong to yourself. There's nothing wrong with admitting saying, I'm flawed in this area. It's the only way that you're going to get better at something. It's the only way you can get healed. Like, man, I'm flawed in this area. And then, stop having this deep-seated. We have to stop making each other feel that we are insignificant if we admit that we flawed somewhere. Because it's funny that the people that mainly do that and try to make light of it are people that's dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I see it all the time. Oh man, what you dealing with? What, you depressed? Me too. And it need to be like that. Like, yeah, I am. I'm struggling. You'll find out. Behind a lot of strong people, there's a lot of sleepless nights. There's a lot of tough conversations because tough people got the same thing. They just battle through it. Like I said, some of them be like functioning. You functioning depressing. You functioning in hopelessness. You're like, look, I'm hopeless, but I'm keeping it moving. People are still going. So we have got to get this together and just understand it and get ourselves into a position to where we can have those honest conversations and be willing to face those tough answers, because the answers are tough.
Yeah.
They tough.
But we can do it.
We can
do it. It's possible.
We can do it. We can do it. The shot hurts. The shot do hurt. You get a shot in the arm, it hurt. But man, the stuff that's getting pushed in is supposed to be the healing, which is the truth. We need truth.
And I just want to add to that the importance of why we keep saying you got to acknowledge it and you got to admit it so that you can be accountable. It's just like when you're fighting the enemy. When you know what moves they're about to throw, when you've studied them long enough to see how they're going to hit you, it's no longer effective because now you can block it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know when to duck, when to move. It's not that same. It don't hit the same no more. It don't have the same effect no more. That's why you have to acknowledge it. That's why you have to admit it. That's why you have to address it and deal with it, because now you're stripping the power it has over you away. And now you can overcome it. Now you can stand on top of it. Now you can laugh in his face and be like, I'm out here. I do this. I'm good.
Oof. Man.
We said a lot.
Between Fifi and Sal, I don't know what to do. Sal went over there and just, oh my goodness. Then Fifi just came with all these right hooks.
That.
But it man, outstanding shot. I just, like I said, I'm with Matt. I wasn't ready for that.
I
I
wasn't
thought he
ready.
was doing a good show, and I guess that's the best thing. Like you said, wherever advice that you're giving out, if it don't hit you first, then there's something wrong with you. So, man, outstanding sale, man. Like always, man. I am
Appreciate you,
so
sir.
happy when you on here,
Thank you so
man.
much.
I hear a lot of guys speak real talk, and I've told you this, Sale, so you know I ain't blowing smoke up your behind. And I love hearing Marcel speak because one time he got some fire. I'm like, man, Sel, you up there sounding like me. Well, got some pep. He had got some. I was like, whoa! I sat back in the car like, oh my god, man, Sel, oh goodness. But he speak with the truth. He's got a truth, an honesty, and a humility that I've never seen in anybody speaking. That's honest. Because you could tell that man is well studied.
Yep.
He stand on faith, and what he talk, he walk. Love you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for being on the show. Again, you always welcome. I always want you on this bad boy, so I appreciate you so much.
No problem.
Thank you so
Love
much.
all you guys. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And Fifi, I don't know what Fifi over there. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't gonna say too much. I talked to Fifi before she got on this bad boy. I was like, how you feel? She's like, I'm here. And
here, all right.
90% of success is just showing up. Thank you. Thank you for just coming this bad boy and all. And we know how everything going, and we just continually praying for you. Mac, thank you for your always honesty and everything else, like what you do every single time. Love you so much. You always come. You're always honest. You're always from the heart. And you're way more wiser than what you think you are, brother. Trust me. Yes, you are. And
facts.
Way more wiser than what you think. So what I really want to do, this month has just been so awesome. I love when we have these great shows like this all the time, and it seems like they back to back to back. I want to thank everybody. I still getting response from my daughter last week. I'm so proud of her. I'm so incredible. It was so amazing to hear from a child's, dang, she a child, but man, I got a teenager, y'all. And
Yes, you do.
and just being so honest and transparent in the wisdom
That was really good.
I just couldn't believe it. I was a lot of times I know everybody was like, you was kind of quiet that show because I was sitting back listening. What we need to do to our youth, we need to listen.
Yeah.
And everything else we been doing this month. I just hope that I don't know which one. I think all of y'all said it. Not just a month, not just a Black History and Healing Month. We should be getting healing every month in everything that we do. And it's just been so incredible. And I love it so much. Just seeing and hearing. Sometimes I just need to sit back and just listen. And I get caught up sometimes just listening. So I just want to be so grateful to every single one, the greatest podcast ever. And the greatest host ever. Appreciate y'all so much. And some of y'all greatest fans and everything else. Y'all out there paying attention to us. And we so grateful for all of y'all. And man, just go with this month. Like I said, like Fifi said, just don't watch it. Share that message. Apply it. And let's get some real healing going on. And real healing, will not happen unless we begin to be honest with ourselves. And be stripped down. And I just want to give some quick to some people. I knew I was gonna say this. I want to get these countries out of here, man. I'm geeked. I ain't gonna front nobody out. I'm geeked. I am so geeked to beyond where you could be geeked. I am just I want to shout out to every single one I listen. Like I pull up the phone, I gotta pull it out. I'm so happy, goddamn. To Canada, Argentina, Bangladesh, Germany, Japan, Nicaragua, Trinidad, Tobago, and of course we ain't forgetting y'all. You know what I'm saying? In England, y'all been there since we just started, and y'all always been faithful, and I appreciate that. United Kingdom, thank you so much. To the ladies out there, we thank y'all because man, y'all account for just over half of our viewership so much. And the fellas, that number kept rising. Thank you. Can't wait till it get to be 50-50. So grateful for it, and we gonna keep it pumping. keep it going, and always bringing y'all the truth and everything. I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Y'all got anything to say before we let them go?
Man, hey, great show. I'm glad we ended this off on a great note. I know we themed this month Black Wellness Month, but let's make it every day.
Absolutely.
Hey, not trust and faith in God, but also get the right help, reach out to the right people, get the right resources, and do the right thing for you and your family and people that you love. So that's all I got to say.
Amen. What about you, Miss Hills?
I'm gonna keep it simple and just say, continue to give yourself grace and others grace.
Even in her simpleness, I don't know what she on fire tonight, ain't she, man? I need to have a theme song for her. Ain't she?
Do you?
She said, "Give grace." I'm like, which means, my goodness, have mercy on people. The same mercy that you want for yourself, have it for others. My goodness. Sale, as our guest, and my brother, man, you got anything to say before I go ahead and let these people get out of here, bro?
Oh, I can't follow it up with anything profound like Miss Hills and Mr. Reese, but thank you for having me here, and everyone, just remember that you're not here for a long time, so make it the best time. Okay?
Woo! There we go. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't ruining that. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next Wednesday.